The sun hung low over the Arizona desert, casting long orange veins across the dusty earth as a lonely wagon creaked along a forgotten trail. The wind blew hot and dry, carrying with it the faint scent of mesquite and distant thunderstorms that never truly arrived. Jake Mallory, a weather-beaten cowboy with a steady gaze and a life carved from rough days and harder nights, rode his horse at a slow trot, letting the silence of the desert keep him company. He had long ago stopped expecting surprises out here. The world beyond the frontier towns was a place of quiet dust, dying embers and occasional danger, nothing more. But fate had a different idea for him that evening. As Jake rounded a bend framed by towering red rock formations, he caught sight of a wagon stalled crookedly on the trail, one wheel broken and the axle sunk deep into the soft dirt. Beside it knelt a woman, her dark hair braided with turquoise beads that glimmered in the sun. She wore traditional Apache clothing, though dust-stained and travel-worn, and her movements were as precise as they were desperate. She strained against the heavy wagon wheel, trying to jolt it free, but it wouldn't budge. Jake slowed his horse, unsure at first whether to approach or simply pass by. Still, the woman looked tired, alone and in need of help, so he pulled his reins and called out, keeping his tone calm. "Evening, ma'am. You look like you could use a hand." She turned sharply, her eyes wary. For a moment she said nothing, simply studying him with a guarded stare. After a long breath, she finally spoke, her voice low but firm. "My wagon is stuck. The axle slipped in the sand. I've been trying to fix it for hours." Jake nodded, approached carefully, examined the wheel, then gathered stones and used his shoulder to help lift the axle. Together they heaved until the wagon snapped free from the sand. She exhaled, relief softening her face. "I am Nayu," she said. "I travel alone." Jake tipped his hat. "Jake Mallory. Traveling alone ain't easy these days." She glanced at distant smoke, curling across the horizon. "Nothing is easy anymore," she murmured. Jake didn't pry. He simply gave her advice for a safer camp and turned to leave. But Nayu insisted. She had to reach the canyon before sunrise. People were depending on her. Jake respected her determination but felt uneasy leaving her behind. That night he returned to his cabin, but sleep didn't come easily. Coyotes howled too close, the air felt too still, and something about Nayu's haunted eyes stayed with him. Just before dawn, he jerked awake and stepped outside, only to freeze. A ring of war-painted Apache riders circled his cabin in complete silence, their eyes cold, their presence unmistakably purposeful. A tall warrior stepped forward and said, "You helped a woman on the trail yesterday." Jake lowered his rifle slowly. "I helped fix her wagon, that's all." But the warriors suspected he had taken her. Jake kept calm, insisting on the truth until the leader declared that Jake must ride with them to prove his innocence. Though frustrated, Jake agreed and deep down felt a responsibility to Nayu. They rode to the place. Jake had helped her. The wagon tracks were visible but not alone. "A second horse," the leader said. "Fresh from last night." Jake's chest tightened. Someone had taken her. They followed the trail deeper into rugged lands until they found Nayu's wagon abandoned, supplies scattered, wood splintered. A torn piece of her shawl clung to the broken frame. The warrior knelt, touched a boot print, and said, "Soldiers, 2 or 3. Jake clenched his jaw. He knew what this meant. The army had taken her. Whether for information, revenge, or cruelty, he couldn't guess, but none of the possibilities were good. "Where would they take her?" he asked. The warrior hesitated. "There is a temporary cavalry outpost to the north." Jake felt anger burn through him. "I'm going with you. I'm not letting her face whatever this is alone." The Apache riders deliberated, then accepted him, but warned that betrayal meant death. Jake rode with them through scorching sun, narrow canyons, and rising fear. When they reached a ridge overlooking the valley, they saw a small soldier camp below, tense horses, guards, and tied to a post near the center, bruised but standing, was Nayu. The sight made Jake's stomach twist. She wasn't broken. She wasn't bowing. She was waiting. The leader whispered, "We wait for nightfall. Then we strike." Jake stared at her, at the camp, at the danger surrounding them, and knew that the choices he made from this moment on would change his life forever. He had ridden into this thinking it was just another day on a dusty trail, but fate had intertwined his path with Nayu's in ways he never expected. And now as the sun dipped and the shadows stretched long, Jake felt something he hadn't felt in years, purpose fierce and burning. Whatever happened next, he would not abandon her. The desert held its breath as night crept in, and the rescue that would shape destinies was about to begin. And dear viewers, if you're gripped by this story and eager to hear what happens next, make sure you subscribe to the channel right now, because the next chapter will bring twists, danger, and revelations you won't want to miss.